So today I'm going to get every single weapon and healing item on the Fortnite island and put it all in one corner and see if I can crash my game. So in Battle Labs, we had 4 people in UFOs destroying each POI. And the rest of the 11 people would get ground loot and go back to the hub and drop off the items in this pile. And together they would rinse and repeat that process until every POI and area was looted. And finally, my job was to take this pile of loot and put it all into one nice corner and keep track of the count. Also, most importantly, shout out to all these guys that helped me from my Discord. I couldn't make this video without them. If you ever want to help me on my Mythbuster videos like these guys, make sure to join my Discord. The link's in the bio. Let's get into the video. So one last note is that one full stack of items like 6 minis or 3 big pots equals 1 item when I'm counting for this video. So if I said 3 items, that could actually mean 18 minis. Throughout this video, you'll want to look up here where I've enlarged the FPS. And now it's time to start the very, very, very long process of collecting and counting the items.
2 hours later.
Here we are at 500 full stacked items in the pile. So right now we're hovering around 230 to 240 FPS, but notice the FPS as I get closer to the pile. It goes down to 80 at one point and hovers around 120-ish, so 500 items essentially cuts my FPS in half from 240. And everyone watching, it would be awesome to drop a like and comment how many weapons and full stacks of items we're going to find on the entire island. And now we go back to the gun grind and check our FPS again once we reach 1,000 full stacked items.
The next day.
And here we are at 1,000 items. Let's see what it does to my FPS. So it's hovering around 50, so we pretty much halved our FPS again. And let's get back to work and stop again at 1,500 items.
1 week later.
And here we are at 1,500 items. Let's see what it does to my FPS. So now we're hovering around 22 FPS and can feel the pain Switch players feel every single day. But we're not stopping there, and I'll see you guys at 2,000 items.
Much later.
And here we are at 2,000 items, and the whole pile of weapons and items is just one giant pile of white. So now our FPS is hovering around 15, so it's not as dramatic of a change from the other checkpoints. This was also the point that some of the helpers were crashing when getting in or near the pile. But we gotta keep going, and we're super close to coming to the final stretch.
1 eternity later.
And here's the final count of all the weapons and full stack of items we found. So we found a total of 2,438 weapons and item stacks. Let me know how close you were in the comments. Now we have our first victim, Lawrence X, with his sweaty soccer skin, who's playing on his PS4 Pro, and let's see what he has to say. Right now he's telling me he can't move. Alright, we got our first person to crash. Let's go. Let's have someone from Team Xbox now. So now we have Juani on Xbox, and we actually have his POV for our enjoyment. To everyone watching, your eyes are fine and the video isn't lagging. This is just his actual perspective on this pile of death. I put the loading spinning wheel above so you know that your video is okay. For some reason his FPS says 10 to 15, but it feels like -1. And an even crazier part is going into this pile caused his game connection to red bar. But the good news is he made it out of it and his game didn't crash. You can kind of see him rubber banding back to the pile too, which is kind of cool. But unfortunately, we didn't have anyone on Switch or mobile helping today, so we don't have any of those to test out. Now finally, I'm going to try it. These are my normal settings, and my PC has a 5950X and a 3090. After I try it out on normal settings, I'm going to max out my settings and see what happens. So unfortunately, the jump from 2,000 to 2,500 items didn't really change my FPS, so let's crank up the settings. So I put all my graphics to epic and turned on motion blur and VSync. Here's what that looks like, but unfortunately, I still couldn't get my game to crash.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
But I had a ton of fun and hope you guys enjoyed the video. It took about 2.5 hours to make, and here's my favorite part of making the whole video. Thanks for watching the whole thing. You rock, and let me know if you want me to make more videos like this.